Welcome. In a world that can often feel shadowed by a lot of uncertainty, there's this profound calling for all of us who believe to be a source of light. So today, let's take some time to explore what it really means to shine right in the middle of the darkness.
We're going to start with this really powerful prophecy from Isaiah. It paints a pretty stark picture, doesn't it? A world just covered in deep darkness. But right into that darkness comes this direct and hopeful command: arise, shine. And that's so much more than a gentle suggestion. It's a divine call to action.
So to really get a handle on our mission, we first have to understand the setting. The scriptures are very clear about the spiritual condition of the world that we're actually called to reach.
Yeah, the scriptures really don't pull any punches here. They describe a world in gross darkness, a place where people are spiritually just kind of searching, trying to find their way. And it's precisely in this setting that our call to shine becomes not just meaningful, but, really urgent.
Okay, so what's our role in a world like that? Well, we are definitely not called to hide or to try and blend in. We have a powerful and direct calling to stand out.
And here, Jesus himself gives us our core identity. And you got to notice, he doesn't say, hey, try to be a light. No, he says, you are the light. It's a statement of fact. Just like a city on a hill, our whole purpose is to be visible, to be a beacon of hope and direction for everyone to see.
The Apostle Paul just perfectly echoes this idea. He challenges believers to live in a way that offers this stark, beautiful contrast to the patterns of the world, reflecting the very character of God.
Now, this sounds like a pretty monumental task, doesn't it? I mean, how can any of us really live up to this? Well, the answer is just beautiful. It's not about our own strength at all, but about a divine partnership.
Now, what's so interesting here is this perfect balance it presents. See, God isn't a substitute for our effort, and our effort can never replace his power. He works in us, he gives us the desire and the ability to change, and then our part is to cooperate, to work out what he is so graciously working in. It's this beautiful, sacred teamwork.
And that phrase, fear and trembling, it's so crucial. But it doesn't mean being scared of God, not at all. It means having this profound sense of awe, this deep respect for the incredible, sacred, transformative work he is doing inside of us. It's that humility you feel when you realize the creator of the universe is personally invested in shaping your very character.
And, this inner work, this divine partnership, it's not meant to stay hidden. It naturally just flows outward, expressing itself as a life of dedicated service.
So, the call is to be a living sacrifice. What does that even mean? Well, it means our very lives, how we use our time, what we do with our talents, the little choices we make every single day, all of it becomes an act of worship. It's about consciously dedicating every part of who we are to honor God.
Paul gives us this powerful illustration of this concept. He saw his own life's work not as his own, but as something to be poured out for the benefit of others and for the gospel. It's just this incredible image of complete, selfless dedication.
And this isn't just some abstract theory. The scriptures give us these inspiring, real-world examples of people whose characters were tested and proven, and they really show us what this life looks like in action.
So let's consider Timothy. Paul describes him as having a proven character. Now what that means is his faith wasn't just talk, it was tested, it was verified through loyal and selfless service. He was someone Paul could completely rely on, a person who genuinely sought the interests of Christ Jesus way above his own.
And then there's Epaphroditus. Man, Paul uses three powerful words to describe him: brother, fellow worker, and fellow soldier. This was a man who didn't just support the mission from a safe distance, he was in the trenches, fighting right alongside Paul, even risking his own life, all driven by this incredible commitment and deep care for others.
When we look at lives like these, it really brings us to a personal question. Every choice we make, every word we say, every action we take, it's like we're sowing a seed, and that seed will inevitably produce a harvest. So the question for us is, are we sowing seeds of light, of selflessness, and of faith, or are we sowing something else entirely?
May we reflect his image.